What is your favorite story about one of these guitars? What's your favorite?
There's several. There's a Fender over there that I got from the family of a gentleman named Jabbo Arrington. Jabbo was the first guitar player for Little Jimmy Dickens when Jimmy came to the Opry. And Jabbo died back then, back in the early 50s. And that guitar sat under a bed for 60 years. And his family tracked me down. They saw I played a guitar like it, and they said, do you know who our relative was? He played with Little Jimmy, and I knew who he was. And they said, would you be interested in buying his guitar? And it's a really rare guitar. It's the first year of Fender electric guitars, made in 1950. And it's called a Broadcaster. And I said, well, of course I would, you know. So they came to the Opry, and we met at the Opry and made the deal and paid them. And it was a good bit of money. And they said, our dream is to see that guitar played at the Opry one more time. I said, well, I can make that happen. So Jimmy was still around, and I went to Jimmy and I said, hey, I just bought Jabbo's guitar. And he said, you've got Jabbo's guitar? And I said, yes, sir. And he says, I want it. I said, well, okay, this is what I paid for it. And he said, I don't want it that bad. And so I went out and played with him, you know, that night at the Opry, and the family's all over there boo-hooing, and it was a great moment and beautiful and full circle and all that. And so fast forward a few years later, and Jimmy passed away. And they asked me if I would come and sing Go Rest High at his memorial, you know, out at the Opry House. Of course, I took that guitar and played Go Rest High on it, told the story of the guitar and how I acquired it, and that it was Jimmy's guitar player, Jabbo's guitar, when Jimmy first came to the Opry. And I said, this is the guitar that brought him here. It should be the guitar that takes him out of here. And everybody's like, you know, all this stuff. And beautiful moment out at the Opry House at Jimmy's service. And so I get home, and I just walked in the door, and the phone rings, and I pick it up. Hello, and he said, Vince, this is Merle Haggard. I said, well, hi, Merle. He said, listen, what I just watched you do for that man was unbelievable. That's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And Merle's my hero, you know. And he said, I don't cry. He said, but what you did, he said, I can't quit crying, and I don't cry. Do you hear me? He said, I don't cry, and I can't quit crying. And he said, I want that guitar. And I said, well, you can't have it either.
You didn't give him a price?
No, I said, you can borrow it anytime you want, but it's kind of special to me now, you know.